Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Morale Booster with John Ughulu. And today I have with me a very intelligent woman. She is an executive coach. She is the CEO of Living Your Sweet Spot. And her name is Dr. HarrisLee. So, Dr. Lee, thank you for joining us on the program. Could you please...
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Likewise. So it's really snowing out here, and I don't know if everyone is experiencing that right now in the whole of the United States, but we're having some beautiful snow right now. Mm-hmm. So thank you for joining me on the program, and my audience are actually looking forward to learning from you. Can you please tell our listeners who you are and what you do?
Yes, so as you mentioned, I am Dr. HarrisLee. I have lived in Atlanta for almost 30 years. I'm originally from New Jersey. Whoa. And I've got, people tell me it's an interesting background because it's a blend of higher education on the administrative side. So I didn't teach. I ran training and development programs for staff in the university settings, and a corporate background, which is I've worked for the Home Depot and their corporate office, Cox Enterprises, one of their divisions, the Mannheim division. And so all of that has really given me the experience that I needed to launch my own coaching practice, because what I did in those environments was really help organizations develop their leaders and kind of enrich their leadership pipeline. So whenever there was a need for promotions or for talent to go in particular aspects of the company, I help them prepare those leaders. So now I work with leaders as an external coach to increase their effectiveness, basically, particularly around this area of emotional intelligence. And the key question that I always ask my clients to kind of create this practical view of emotional intelligence, John, is this: how do people experience you? Because without that awareness, you can't be as effective as you want to be. Because oftentimes we all have strengths, but we also all have opportunities. And without knowing what our opportunities are based on how people experience us, we're operating in the dark.
Right, that's true. Yeah, that's a good one. Good piece of advice. So how did you come up with this beautiful name, Living Your Sweet Spot?
You know what? I am so glad you asked me that, because a dear friend of mine who passed away in 16, she and I used to do, her name was Angela Fletcher. She and I used to do brainstorming. She was an entrepreneur. I was just getting started. So we would meet over drinks and hors d'oeuvres on Friday evenings and just brainstorm around our businesses and share ideas. And I was trying to figure out the name of my business, and we were kind of throwing around some things. And she said, "What about Sweet Spot?" Now, I got to tell you, when she first said it, I had a little bit of concern, because I was like, Angela, I think people are going to confuse that with something else.
Exactly.
Right?
I was going to say that.
Right. And so she says, well, no. Think about it as the sweet spot of a tennis racket, right? When tennis players play, they're always trying to hit the ball in that sweet spot of the tennis racket. And I was like, yeah, I get it, but let me socialize it first to see how people respond to it. And she said she was going to do the same. And I came back with lots of really positive responses. So I kind of added, live in your sweet spot.
Right.
And I have to say that sometimes when I'm at a restaurant or somewhere and I give a server my credit card. One time this young lady came back and she said to me, because it has the name of the business, she said, "Are you a sex therapist?" I was like, "No, I am not a sex therapist." That's a different spot. That's not the spot we're talking about.
Yeah, you wouldn't blame her for that, because well, it's a very beautiful name, I must tell you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's unique. So as the name implies, that's what you do with your clients.
Exactly.
Yeah, so basically you help them live in their sweet spot in terms of human resources, in terms of success coaching, in terms of business growth, etc. So that's a good one. And do you currently work with startups, or you only deal with companies that are already successful?
So I haven't done any work with startups. I do work with small nonprofits as well as large corporate organizations. And I work with individuals, right, who are coming to me because they want to enhance their effectiveness. And just to expand a little bit on your description, really it's about helping people find what I call their superpower or their secret sauce. What is the thing that really works for you and makes you effective so that they can use it intentionally? Because oftentimes our strengths we do because they just come to us. But once you're aware of them, you can really begin to leverage your strengths and exploit them to your benefit.
That's true. That's a good one. So for how long have you officially been coaching? Coaching is normally, one thing I have come to realize about coaching is that you never realize that you've been doing it prior to you deciding that you want to officially do it. Yeah, it's a skill that one actually harnesses after not knowing that you've been doing it for long. So when did you officially start coaching as a business?
That's a great question, because I will tell you that I officially started doing it in my corporate work, being employed by a corporation, because I began to get the title the corporate coach, right? Because leaders would send their people to me.
Right.
Now, to your point though, what I realized was that I was working basically intuitively, and I was getting people to a point that I couldn't get them past. So that's when I started getting certifications and getting more formal training in coaching specifically. And soon after that, I launched my own business. So it's been 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite some time, quite some experience. Yeah, that's a good one. So do you also do one-on-one coaching?
I do. So that's where the individual client comes in, where they will call me, we'll talk about their goals, and I work with them individually, right, outside of the organization to help them achieve their goals. But I have to say that where I have found the most success, John, is where a client engages me in terms of one-on-one coaching, individual coaching, and then we somehow get back into the organization, particularly to collect feedback, so that the client really has a sense of how he or she is being perceived. And that allows me to help the client even more. Because if I'm just working with you based on your perception of of what you're experiencing and your thoughts and ideas, it just gives us this kind of mono view versus a broader view when I find out from others exactly how you're showing up, how they experience you. That allows me to help you more.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, so with your experience, I know I have a lot of listeners who are actually starting up different businesses. What would be your advice to those startups, those people who are just starting? Yeah, what would be your advice to help them grow their finances and also to grow their team? Because when you have a great team,
yes,
there's a possibility of you going places,
that's true.
Yeah, going bigger in your business. So what's your advice to startups?
So my first bit of advice is that relationships are key. Without relationships and diverse relationships, you're not going to be able to successfully grow your business. So visibility is so important, and actually getting out there and meeting people, and not just meeting them and collecting cards, but nurturing and cultivating relationships so that there's this mutual exchange. Because if someone can help you, more than likely you can help them at some point as well.
So it's reciprocal, yeah.
Yes, you become equally vested in one another. I have grown my business over a 10-year period simply based on relationships. I don't market. I have an Instagram account, but it's just for fun. You know, I speak, and sometimes that gets me business. All of my business is referral, all of them, and it's grown over the years. So that's the first thing. As it relates to the team, I think it's important to understand, again, what your superpower is and what your secret sauce is, and have a clear view of what the other needs of your business are, and then you identify the people who can help you meet those needs. Sometimes, as particularly as solo entrepreneurs, where we're just getting started and we think that we have to do everything, doing everything takes us away from our brilliance. And right. So you got to think about, do you want to spend, like I am today, spend the next 8 hours inputting data into QuickBooks? Or do you want to hire somebody to do it, right, to do that for you, right? If marketing is critical for you, you know, is that something that you want to carve out time for, or do you want to make sure you have the budget to find someone, even if it's part-time, to do that for you? Right. And sometimes it's divide and conquer in terms of delivering your services. So it's finding the right people who have the skill set that you have when it comes to delivering your services, that they have the certifications or whatever you require to deliver it at the same level that you would, not necessarily like you would, but the same quality that you would. Those are the things that help us grow our business.
Wow, that's a powerful one there. Mm-hmm. I really, now talking about relationship, that is key. I just picked that from you. That is key.
It is.
You know, having a great relationship while starting your business determines how far the business would go. I remember when I first, you know, came up with the idea of having this program. Mm-hmm. It was like, I felt it was going to be a struggle, but something in me told me that, no, you're good at selling yourself. You're good at marketing. Mm-hmm. So I started initially. I was reaching out to people here and there. But right now, I've come to realize that there is no better way of getting clients other than referrals.
That's right.
So, yeah, when you hold on to a relationship, people are meant to always refer people to you if they like what you do, if they believe in your vision, if they believe in your dream. And believe me, I have months and months and months of bookings right now, you know, out of referrals.
Right.
So referral is key.
It is. It is. And you get referrals by, at least for me, exceeding expectations. Right. And so it's like, how can you surprise and delight, right, your clients? What can you give them that they wouldn't expect, whether it's an individual client or a corporate client? Right. It's just about giving them that something extra, and the extra should differentiate you, right? So I was talking with a potential client, corporate client, just yesterday, and they had been talking to 3 different coaches, and listen to your clients, because they'll tell you exactly why they choose you, right? And so this gentleman said, the reason we chose you is because your process is so inclusive. You're not just working with the leader we're bringing you in to work with, but her boss said, but you're coaching me too, right? And I need that in order to figure out the best way to engage her, right? And so for me, that's a differentiator. I don't just deal with the leader, I deal with the environment that the leader operates in order to ensure success. Because somebody can work to change themselves, but if what's around them is not changing, nothing's going to change, and the client's just going to be frustrated. So it's finding out, how do you delight and exceed the expectations of your clients in a way that differentiates you? Because, you know, we're all doing stuff that other people are doing.
Exactly.
We got to figure out, what's my thing? What's the thing that makes me different? What's the game changer for me? You also mentioned something else about your little voice telling you that you could do this. And I always tell people that oftentimes building a business is an organic process. You got to pay attention to what works. You got to listen to your inner voice and move in that direction. Where's the energy coming from for you?
Right.
And go in the direction of the energy. And that's how I built my business, based on I pay attention to how my clients respond. I pay attention to how I respond to how my clients respond, and I move in that direction. So there is so much intuitiveness, if that's a word, that really is a part of building a business. We got to we got to blend our intuition in there with our strategy and our thinking.
Yeah, that's a good one. You know, you said something about listening. I think during our coaching training, that's part of the key qualities a coach should have, the ability for you to listen, you know, and I'm so glad we already have those qualities. You know, listening to your clients is key.
That's right.
Just like as Dr. Lee has mentioned. For those of you listening to this program now, for startups, listening to your clients is key. Do not always be on the defensive side. Listen to them. You will definitely have those people who would give you positive criticism. You would also have some negative criticism. But the ability for you to listen and balance it is what matters, and learn from that. Because whatever you're doing it to get more clients and to satisfy a particular need.
That's right.
Right, that's a good one. Thank you very much for that. I know I have a lot of people who are just getting into business. And how do you feel motivated? Or rather, how do you stay motivated when you do not feel motivated? I know it's a tricky question.
That is a tricky question.
Now, let me repeat it. How do you get motivated when you do not feel motivated?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's rare that I don't feel motivated because I love my work, which is how I know I'm doing the right work. But I will tell you, what keeps me engaged is meditation in the morning, right? I think part of what keeps us motivated is preparing ourselves to do the work. Right. So I get up in the morning, I meditate, I exercise, I take care of myself to be sure that I always have the energy that I need to share with my clients. Right. The other thing that motivates me is I stay in learning mode. So I'm always doing professional development, the things that are going to make me a better person, right, and also then make me a better coach, right, and a better business partner. So, and the other thing I think that contributes to motivation is sometimes we got to unplug and we've got to step away from the business. Right. In order to get refreshed and energized. Oftentimes when we're just starting, we think we've got to go at it all the time. But when you're going at it all the time, you're not creating the mental space for creativity and innovation. So you got to take a break every now and then and come back and give it what you've got. So that's how I stay motivated. I take care of myself through meditation, exercise, and eating right. And I take the breaks that I need. And I surround myself with people, my support system that really keeps me encouraged and who I can encourage as well, because it can be kind of isolating. So you've got to have people around you who share your vision that you have for yourself and your business and can inspire you and give you the support that you need.
All right. So do you think getting educated is part of what will lead to business success? When I'm talking about education, I'm not just talking about, the four walls of a university or a college, like learning, getting certified, if you're interested in information technology, getting that knowledge, getting that certification, do you see that as a way forward for startups, people who are just starting business?
I tend to be a proponent of education, any kind of education, right? But we read stories all the time about people who, dropped out of high school and are quite successful. So I think it depends on what you bring to the table initially, right? And trying to figure out where your gaps are, what are the things that you need that would move you, that would accelerate your growth. And sometimes it is getting the certification, but sometimes it's simply finding someone else who has it, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's understanding where your brilliance is and figuring out, is it worth my time and energy to go get this for myself, or should I just find someone else that I can partner with? Because partnerships are critical too to growing businesses.
Right.
I can partner with who can help me with this piece of it. So I think it just depends on the individual and what resources they have available to themselves and how rich their network is.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm a serious advocate for education.
Yeah, I am too.
That's I don't care how else you want to do it, but just get educated.
Absolutely.
Get some knowledge. Right.
Yeah.
You know. So I have a nonprofit that provides assistance in terms of grants. We provide grants for people who want to acquire certain skills. Provide grants for, just when it has to do with education. We support people a lot. So I am a big believer of education. So there shouldn't be any excuse whatsoever.
Right.
A lot of people don't get that education they need because they have this mental block. They have this conviction that they cannot do it. They feel they're too busy to get an education right now. They feel they won't be able to assimilate. So I work with people because I'm a mindset coach. So I work with people to help them identify and eliminate those limiting beliefs. And God has actually used me in such a way that you cannot know me and tell me money to get an education is your problem, when I know people who are willing to pay heavily for you to get educated.
Right.
So I have that platform. That's what I do with people. I'm a strong believer of education.
Yeah. The other thing too is, even if people don't have access to resources, not like to get the address or the website for your nonprofit to take a look at that. But even if people don't have the resources, there's so much information online. So you can get informal education just by reading and learning, and, because people can learn that way as well. There's so many different viewpoints and perspectives out there that you just do yourself a disservice if you don't even take the time to grow in that way.
Right. That's true. So my nonprofit is John Ughulu Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, my first name, my last name. Foundation. Okay. So the website is johnughulufoundation.org.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. So how do you do your coaching? Do you do online coaching or you do in-person coaching?
I do both, actually. So my clients are all over the country, and there are times that I am with them in person. There are times that we're doing exactly what you and I are doing here. We meet via Zoom. Some clients prefer just to do by phone. So I have those three kind of platforms. I just had a thought this morning for a membership site, a paid membership site, where I'm going to provide the same kind of information to people who just want to download things as they need it, because I know everybody has a different need. Right. And so there'll be that. And then at some point I'm going to be offering some websites, same information, just different vehicle. And then some live programs as well, because I enjoy just interacting with people, in person too. But right now it's technology, in person, and telephone.
Oh, okay, that's a wonderful one. Thank God the world is a global village right now.
Yes.
Technology, so that's good.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so nobody should complain of lack of information.
That's right.
At this stage.
That's right.
All right. So it's a good one. So how are you enjoying the weather? It's really snowing, like terrible.
Look,
just 36 degrees.
I was surprised when I looked out the window and saw how heavily it was snowing. I'm like, oh my God, I was going to run some errands today. Maybe not so much. I'm from New Jersey, so even though I haven't been here for a long time, it's nice to see snow, particularly when I don't have to go anywhere.
Right. That's a good one. I like that. So, what about persistence? What's your take on persistence for people who are trying to achieve a particular goal?
It's required. I mean, you have to want it bad enough to not give up, right? And understand that we're not always going to be successful,
Right.
but what do you learn from the failures, right? And how do the failures inform you as you move forward? So I think persistence is a critical piece to it, because everything, it's not easy. It's simply not easy. And you've got to be committed, because that's the only way. The only way. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've had a it's been good. I've been able to earn a good living, but I'll tell you, it was last year that was my best year from a revenue perspective. I was just sharing my numbers with my husband yesterday, and he was like, "Oh my God, that's like a 30% jump from where you've been." I said, "I know, right?" But it takes time, and we have to measure success in different ways. So we always have this big goal that we're trying to work towards, and it feels like it's taken us a long time to get there. But if we have little goals on the way, that's the thing that keeps us moving forward, keeps us persevering, and allows us to be persistent. You got to have some milestones along the way. You can't just try to get to this big goal without having some success along the way, because we got to stay motivated. Back to your question about how do you stay motivated. I have little goals along the way, small successes that I know are going to equate to something larger. Right? So I've had small successes that have sustained me well over the last 8 years, but this 9th year, I was like, oh my God, I finally got to that number. That's the number. I went to my vision board. I was like, that's the number. I'm there. Yay.
Yeah, that's a good one. So to my listeners, I would like to also emphasize on what I have come to realize, or what I have learned over time from my mentors. First thing, get a mentor. And also understand that success is not a destination.
That's right.
It's a journey.
That's right.
So do something you are passionate about, something you look forward to, always waking up to get into. Enjoy the journey. And lastly, do not look out for instant gratification.
Right. Right. You can't.
Yes.
You'll be disappointed every time.
That's the truth. I've learned that from my mentors. I've learned that also while trying to grow a business. Instant gratification is not what we should be looking out for. We should be looking out for longevity. We should be looking out for how to create a legacy, because the legacy part is powerful.
That's right. And that, you make a great point about legacy, because we're all trying to make a living, but we also need to ask the question, what's the impact we're trying to have? Right. And because that's the legacy work, it's the impact. And when we're no longer here, will people know that we existed, and what was the mark that we left? And I think for entrepreneurs who are out there trying to make things happen, that's also something that helps you persevere. Is just understanding that what you're trying to accomplish is something larger than a paycheck, right? Something larger, your why, it's your why. And for you, it's education. And I love that, because for me, it's education too. I want to be a philanthropist where I can fund and help support other people achieve their goals through education, particularly people of color. Right. So that is part of my why. And that's going to be part of my legacy. So
I like that. That's a legacy I want to leave. I want to be able to inspire change in the world. And I have started. It's something bigger than myself, but I know I know it is something I will definitely achieve. I need a paycheck, but I need to inspire change. I have already started on that journey. And this is the way I'm going to do it. Just by bringing intelligent people like you on the program to share your experience, having people reach out to you so that they can get some coaching and become successful. I'm going to use the platform to the best of my ability to inspire change. I promised myself I would inspire 1 million+ people this year.
Oh, I love that. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's a rich goal. It's an aggressive goal, but it's a doable goal, given how small the world is, right?
Yeah.
And using the platform that you're using, this technology platform, that's phenomenal. Yeah.
Right. No matter how small that inspiration is, a lot of people, a lot of lives will be touched by me. That's the goal. So I really do appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on this program. And luckily for me, we are neighbors. So
yes,
we're going to be doing some community work together in the future, I guess.
Yes, I'm sure we will.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so thank you very much for joining us on the program. We had so much fun. I know my listeners have learned so many things from you. And feel free to reach out to Dr. Kim. Her contact is currently being displayed on the screen right now. If you are having challenges reaching out to her, feel free to contact me and I'll point you towards the right direction to reach out to her. She's a wonderful person. She's somebody who can actually stand as she can be a non-judgmental sounding board.
Absolutely.
That's what we are trained to do as coaches.
Absolutely.
So feel free. She's got experience in the corporate world. She's got experience in executive coaching. If you are in that area where you know you need to get in some experience, some coaching, reach out to Dr. Lee. She's the best person for you.
Thank you, John.
Ma'am, for joining us on the program. We're going to call you some other times for some other episodes. I hope you would be willing to come back.
Oh, I would love to. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.